Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Hyrule Chronicles, episode 91. I am the GM, ArticulateT, and with me as always, I have Renji Vox being played by Netherlap.
Hello.
I have Kaikuana being played by Avrdal.
We're in danger.
I have Zaiden Shari being played by Robo Pirate.
No, it'll be fine. We're not going to get falsely arrested for anything.
And I have Max being played by Keistrith.
I'm in a lot of danger.
So, what happened last time?
So last time we went back to the Lake Hylia Research Facility, talked about possible avenues for curing Goma, which actually was kind of stuck through most of the session because that's what's going on right now. And we delivered the Zelda, and a specimen of a infected River Zora. After doing that and realizing that it was getting late, we decided to go to the Hylia settlement. And we spent the night there learning about the specific aspects of how the infection spread through there. Kai thinking about it from a, we can't one-man army this whole thing and cure all this stuff because we just simply literally do not have the funds. We decided to get together with Dr. Martel and got a list together, which he then organized getting it to Castletown, where we had a brief aspect with Hikan, who decided to get that and then ran around the Noble District, probably interrupting more than a few people's dinner to get the things going to get as many ingredients as they possibly could to the Hylia settlement by having the convoy go through Green Hills and then directly to the research station to get a cure manufactured. That evening, Zaiden had another run-in with our mysterious dream friend, our mysterious, very sad dream friend, which we didn't get any further insights on.
Yeah.
And then that morning, we all went into the mysterious, for most of us, Lost Woods, where we found the enigmatic Skull Kid, who annoyed Max and pestered Zaiden with a lot of questions. As we walked through the woods, eventually we got to a point where we felt vertigo and dizzy, and when we opened our eyes back up, we were somehow in the slums of Hyrule Castletown looking at our good friend Larson Graves, who does not look none too happy to see us. And if I may ask, Artie, what the heck does this mean for those saving throws?
Well, I'm glad you asked. So we rejoin our party as they stand under the night sky within Hyrule Castletown's slums district. The dim lights of street lamps illuminating the area as they stand at a crossroads. Each direction flanked by a pair of Hylian guards armed with spears, each of them pointed at your group.
Hold on, my. Sorry, never mind. Keep going.
Alongside them, in full plate, with a shield and spear, is the chaplain of Din, Larson Graves. His helmet is off, and you can see that he has a dour expression on his face. Around, in addition to this, you can hear the sounds of dolorous alarm bells that are ringing out throughout the city. And there is a low murmur as crowds appear to be crowds around the city that you can't see at the moment seem to be shouting and screaming and wailing. Kai and Max, based on your intelligence saving throws from before, you recall a very vivid set of circumstances that, after this brief bit of lightheadedness, you had ultimately found yourselves recalling in kind of a very specific set of circumstances. You went to the Lost Woods. You followed Zayden and the others around looking for this Goma problem. You found nothing. You returned to the Hylia settlement. The infection had spread beyond the point of manageability, and what few people that were left in the settlement decided to leave, and the settlement itself seemingly died out. You returned to Hyrule Castle Town to find the entire place in disarray. Not necessarily like destroyed or anything, but panicked and lots of gossip happening. From what you could gather when you returned, Zelish had realized that that Maximus had returned to Hyrule Castle Town, and none too pleased, left his home for the first time and returned to Hyrule Castle Town. With impassioned urging, he had sentenced Maximus to death, arrested Hikan, and in his grief and madness had turned his attention to the rest of the Storm's Eye and had accused them of conspiracy. And it seemed that his words had taken hold even in some of your closest companions and confidants, Larson Graves included. While you tried to explain your situation, most of the guards were not hearing any of it, and had chased you into the slums where they have cornered you now. And this is where you stand. Zayden and Renji, because of your intelligence saving throws, you note that this feels like a bit of an exaggeration. The recalling of the memory seems both too fuzzy, but also too clear. This doesn't feel right. This entire situation does not feel right. This feels like a very elaborate illusion that is playing on your past memories.
I have something I can do.
Before you get there, for this next segment, at least for a little bit before they are convinced otherwise, which can be done through the use of an action or a bit of role play or anything, Max and Kai have the frightened condition. And that's what the intelligence saving throw meant.
Oh dear.
Got it.
So when confronted with the potential for being arrested, Max will react very violently. So I advise you guys to come up with a solution.
Okay.
Just in case, we'll put you on this little battle map that we have here.
And that's Larson, right?
That is Larson.
So cool.
As big looking as he thought he'd be.
I take it for the
huge.
I take it for the mechanics purpose. I am just afraid of all the guards.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. So I cannot move.
For those thinking slightly more clearly, you will notice that Skull Kid is not among you. Zayden, having known Skull Kid, comparatively speaking, a little more, you reckon that he probably reverted to the one thing that he does whenever he is scared, which is to disappear. He's probably around here somewhere, but you just can't see him.
Oh, hey.
That's like the biggest thing that kind of sticks out in your mind as well as to why this doesn't make sense. Skull Kid would never leave the Lost Woods.
Okay. Zayden will shout out Skull Kid speaks Kokiri, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he'll shout out in Kokiri, "Kid, where is the source of this?"
Make for me a persuasion check.
A whole +3 go. 21.
Not bad.
He it's difficult to say where he is. He's definitely not among the group with you, like he's not standing next to you. But when his voice comes back, it sounds like it's in one of these other buildings, like just behind here, let's say. And he says, "Source of what? Where are we? Why am I here?" It turns out he also failed his intelligence saving throw and is frightened as well. He's convinced that he is physically here and experiencing this from the sounds of it. But your persuasion check might have some leeway as to trying to get him to convince otherwise. If you have any other words of wisdom that you might be able to convince him with, you might get a saving throw to try and break out of it.
Given his general attitude, I thought of something which might be work on him. Say, "Kid, this is an illusion. Someone's playing a trick on you."
Very nice.
Do I hear this, or is this in Kokiri?
It's just Kokiri.
Ah, darn it.
Yeah, but you are coherent enough to know that this feels like an illusion.
Zayden, what?
You go for it.
What's going on?
I don't really know. Something's causing an illusion. If I can find the source of it, I can dispel it. Try and keep Max from exploding.
Oh.
Yeah, it's there's like big sparks going up his arm right now.
Okay, I will stand. I'll go and stand over here.
Okay.
Kind of like trying to shield Max as much as possible. But Max, Zayden thinks this is an illusion. Something is weird. Something is definitely weird about this. Kai, are you okay?
Feels pretty fucking real to me.
Darn it. Okay.
The response to you, Zayden, is like, "That's not fair. It's not fair at all. This isn't fun. This isn't fun."
That doesn't sound like he did well.
Trying to think of something that only the guards would know, but it looks like this illusion is built off of our memories and extrapolated from that, right?
Yeah.
I think only the gods would know. It'd also be something you would know.
Yeah. Exactly. Um. Then kind of like turn back to Larson. Shout out, what is the meaning of this?
You are hereby charged with conspiracy for regicide and for treason against the kingdom of Hyrule. You will lay down
whose
your weapons and
authority?
you will by the authority of the Grand Master of the Sheikah and King Marius. You are to lay down your arms and surrender. This is your last warning. He lifts his spear.
We are willing to talk, but we will not lay down our weapons, as we are still working in the name of the king.
Give me a persuasion check.
Here goes. +13. 20.
Clearly,
you're plus 13. You don't have any room to be nervous about this.
I just
yeah, but
want to
clearly
roll
my plus 3 is
well.
better.
It's fine. But yeah, with a 20, as you do that, I would like everybody to give me an insight check, and of course, because you're frightened, Max and Kai, give me that with disadvantage, please.
Absolutely.
16.
6.
11.
Now I roll better.
There is so with a I think Renji, you're the only one who catches on to this. As you kind of present this conviction, by saying that you still work for the crown, you will not lay down your weapons or something like that. There's something about this illusion that shifts. Like for the briefest moment, in this a very bizarre, uncanny way, Larsen's expression changes from one of authority and anger to one of what's the best way to describe this? To one that's kind of calm and understanding, and it flickers back. There's something about this where if you can try and basically will yourself against it, you might be able to break the illusion enough to break out of it. Of course, and there are different ways that you could do this. You could say perhaps physically fight back against the illusion, or you could try and actively utilize your charisma or your own willpower in order to try and push back with your own minds to break it.
I think I want to try and continue the like power of persuasion here.
Mhm.
I
Try
will
the
step
option that results in spending less spell slots.
that as well. I step over here, still with like one arm, kind of across Max's body to shield him from the guards that are to the west of us. And then I will look over at Larsen. Chaplain, you know us for so long already. Does this not sound like madness to you?
Give me another persuasion check.
Another persuasion check.
Yeah.
29.
29.
That's a little better.
There's as your memories of who Larsen Graves is conflict with this exaggeration of guilt and woe that stands before you. You can see again the image kind of flickers. This time a bit more exaggerated. It's not just the expression. His stance kind of drops slightly. He lowers his weapon. He kind of looks aside as if he is confused before it does eventually flicker back to the image of a righteous keeper of law standing before you. At that point, Zayden, you catch on to what Renji's trying to do.
Max grumbles something along the lines of, "Didn't even know what a king was till he died."
Hmm.
Is there anything you'd like to do to add to Renji's show of compassion and conviction?
I would like to, rather than focusing on attempting to persuade the illusions to try and see what doesn't make sense. I know that we were just in a forest, and we probably still are in a forest, so there shouldn't be buildings, there shouldn't be this sort of mud, there should be grass, there should be trees, there should be the sound of the lost woods singing from yesterday.
Yep. Okay.
I want to try and spot those things and maybe point them out to my friends so that they aren't frightened anymore.
Ooh, that's good. Okay. Give me a perception check then.
I lied myself to this as well. Ooh, I needed it. For a grand total of 13.
Okay.
Ooh.
With a 13, it takes you a bit of time. Seeing the kind of verbal and somatic component of your spell casting, some of the guards kind of like get a bit nervous and like they secure their weapons and like are slowly beginning to shift forward slightly. But you do manage to spot things that don't make sense. For starters, you've spent enough time in the slums to know that this, like, the surrounding streets that you're in don't like match up exactly to where some of the places in the slums are. Like it's definitely more organized than this in the real world, so to speak. But you do see things where like the placement of structures would very much fall in line with where like a tree would be, like a building that seems a bit too thin, or another structure that seems a bit odd in shape when you kind of scrutinize it a bit. You find plenty of evidence to do so, and if you want to, I would like you to make for me a persuasion check, and depending on how well you do, Kai and Max might get another wisdom save, or get a
+3, here I go.
yeah.
I mean, when those guards did inch forward, Max did raise his sparking arm to threaten them back.
Okay. In that case, give me an intimidation check.
Okay.
17. 17's good. They stop in their tracks, as you would expect them to. But yeah, if you want to give me a persuasion check, Zayden, if you wanted to try and convince the... Okay. All right.
Well, that's
That's fine.
Can I
so I turn to the others and
Yeah. If as Zayden goes with this, you can definitely provide some aid. Zayden, how do you try and convince your allies that this is an illusion?
well, I'll say, look around. The buildings are too thin. The streets curve and twist in an unnatural fashion. And just over there, Toothless Jim, he would never leave that spot. It's empty.
Okay.
He's right. We've been to these places. This isn't Hyrule Castle Town.
Okay, Max, Kai, give me a wisdom save as opposed to an intelligence one this time around.
Yay, I actually have a number on this one. 20.
Oh, part of me is like, do you just want to fail because you actually haven't been to the slums? But no, I'll try to roll.
Oh right, yeah, Kai hasn't.
There you go. As you still have this kind of panic thing as your memories are conflicting with this chunk of what would probably have been about like a couple of days, maybe a week of travel that has just been added on to your journeys. But as you look around, Zayden and Renji are right. This doesn't make sense at all. There's Max, you don't recognize any of these areas from the slums that you have been in, and Kai, you can definitely see the structural bizarre nature that just kind of exists with these buildings. It just doesn't seem right at all. This isn't real. And with that realization, I'd like everybody to make for me one intelligence saving throw, this time with advantage.
Intelligence saving throw coming
Yeah.
up.
20.
5.
15.
That's a 13.
Okay. All
My
right.
boy is not smart.
Uh,
He does not have a good brain.
Okay, so this is what's going to happen. As you kind of all collectively as a group make this save, everybody except Max, you are you kind of begin to, like, your brain begins to catch up and begin to like disassemble this illusion entirely, and below you you can see that there's like a puddle of water that seems to be kind of growing around your feet. The buildings fall away and replaced with trees, and the guards in question are like just kind of fade away in this kind of dust sort of particle effect, and you are brought to an area of the Lost Woods where you can look around you. You can see that there are a collection of Goma lava that are just staring at you. They're keeping their distance, but they stare intently, idly. They don't jitter and move around. They don't seem to click or snap their mandibles. They're just watching you, staring at you. But they definitely seem to be awake enough for you to for them to know that you are definitely present.
For Max?
For Max, the illusion just takes a bit more time in order to disassemble itself. So depending on how quickly, if you wanted to get into a combat scenario, if you wanted to go like right now, Max would be stunned for a turn. But otherwise, that's kind of it. It just takes a bit longer for Max to come out of the illusion.
Okay. Well, Zaiden's first priority is going to see if either he can see Skullkid and if he's safe, or if he's still hidden somewhere at least.
Give me a perception check.
22.
Okay. You don't see him exactly. It is quite clear that he is remaining invisible, but he looks to be hiding within this tree. You can see like there's this kind of like this ripple, this predator ripple effect that is around the tree that looks just a little bit off, and it's like, he's there.
There's no Gomer in the tree.
He hasn't quite perfected the invisibility spell yet.
Yeah. He's a bit frazzled. But yeah.
This would be said to Zaiden. I am fine waiting until Max is lucid. You want to tell him to go tell the old man, whoever it was you guys were talking about?
Good thinking. I also ignite aspiration at the moment.
How deep is this water?
Ankle deep.
Okay.
I'm very sparky right now.
You are very sparky
Yep.
right now.
Yeah.
That does tend to happen.
Well, you're very sparky right now, and we're in a target-rich environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We just don't want to be the rich targets.
Okay. Well, if everyone's ready, I think it might be time for us to get squishing then.
What?
Suggest we head to the right
Sunblade
and out of
engaged.
water.
Okay. Okay. And Mara just kind of draws the mace and flicks her wrist, and it unfolds and sparks to life.
I will put part of the haft of my Warhammer towards Max, so Max can hold on to something if Max is still a little bit out of it.
Yeah.
Because Kai is very big on consent.
Yeah. So within the realm of the illusion, all of you had been like a consistent thing. So Max is able to perceive you. It's just his environment around him is kind of like still loading in. Like the draw distance has started really small and is slowly expanding. So it's just
None of the textures have popped in yet. It's all really weird.
Yeah.
all of the pigeons are just like
The
triangles
Goma
at the
haven't
moment.
loaded yet. Fucking
The ones that have are still T-posing.
yeah.
Yeah.
About a baker's dozen of those little Goma things, so just be
Car
careful.
just flips. Wait, that's cyberpunk. Never mind.
No, in Cyberpunk, they fall out of the sky and nearly land on you.
Yeah.
I mean, that does happen as well.
Fall
That's
through
still
the
my
floor as
favorite.
you're driving.
I love it.
Are
Yeah.
we going to get combat music?
We are going to get combat music. Under the condition that you roll initiative for me, please.
Sure thing.
Only because you have
Love
nice.
to roll initiative. I rolled a 2.
Actually, that seems a bit more.
Done, but he's very into the fight
We waited.
with his 23.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then these guys.
I really like your Goma music. Just it starts.
It is.
Criminy!
Oh, hey, Goma.
Fuck these guys.
Indeed.
So it is Continuum by Steve Shapiro. This was on a album of D&D music stuff. I think I got it from iTunes, but I haven't had iTunes installed for a while.
Nice.
Okay, so top of the round we have Goma Lava. They at the moment, I'm going to say they don't act just yet. They're still trying to focus on the psychic illusion that they're trying to force upon you, so they're going to remain idle for now. Max.
Max is stunned, right?
I'd say yes. I'd say you can do a move if you wanted to move, but still a bit incoherent to do like actions and stuff.
So no dodge action.
Yeah, sadly, I'm
I'd
afraid.
like to stay put.
Okay. All right. Kai.
Okay. I need to grab. Oh, they changed the icon for the ruler. I am very upset.
Yeah, right.
How dare they?
Okay. Actually, from. Okay. All right. Cool. I'm going to. So from here to there's 1, 2, 3. So there's that, and then I'm going to Great Weapon Master with my maul. I no longer have my shield. So
Okay.
just unclick that. That is a 20 to hit for 23.
That immediately squishes the creature.
Excellent.
I've got the wrong thing. There we go.
Okay, so 4, 5, and once more.
Okay.
19 for 26.
Yeah, that's just immediate
Okay.
crunchiness of Goma.
Splat.
And that is just with it. Actually, I'm going to move my last square here, and I do have another attack because I forgot that I'm a fighter. 17 for 11 on this one up here.
Okay. 17 for 11. You throw the hand axe. Bifurcates a small creature in twain.
Alrighty. That will be my turn.
Okay. There we go. Is that still appropriate size? Okay, good. I just need to rearrange the camera a bit. Wait a sec. That's better. It was being weird. Okay, so Zayden.
Zayden will move to here. He will channel up his staff and lay waste a cone of cold at basically all of the Goma on his left.
Okay. Sounds good. That's like a bunch of saves, isn't it?
Constitution save, they take basically 18 damage if they pass.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fine. The blast of
They'll turn
frigid,
into little ice statues.
yeah, the blast of frigid air goes out, immediately freezes the shallow water of the pond within the cone's influence, and crystallizes these Goma in solid ice, leaving them bereft of life. Anything else you want to do on your turn?
We might as well use the bonus action to cast Shillelagh.
Okay. It's Mara's go. Mara.
I'll take one more step here just to look up and check on Skullkid.
Okay. He's kind of just keeping to that tree right now. He's not doing too great. But yeah. In the meantime, Mara will move herself over here. Raise the mace, and will bring it down. Sadly missing this Goma. And that will be her turn. Renji.
Right. I'm wondering how is hold on. This scalable for me?
It would require an athletics check, but it would not take up an action on your turn to do so. It's kind of steep and a bit muddy, but that's, yeah.
Okay, is there a place where that wouldn't be the case?
It's shallower here, so if you were to do, like, if you run up that way and then around, that might work.
I think I will do that. So that would be 30 feet here?
Mm-hmm.
Would that be possible, or...?
Yeah, that'd be possible.
Okay. And then dash, bonus action, over here.
Mm-hmm.
That's 10 more feet of movement. I will attack with aspiration.
Okay.
That is a 20 to hit.
That hits.
Will put my sneak attack on this right now.
Okay.
That is in total 20 points of damage.
That destroys it, as it is singed from the radiant blade.
Then I will move another 10 feet over here and attempt to do the same with attack with number 2. 26, and this will be a total of 9 points.
Okay.
That is a shame for the sneak attack damage, but okay.
Yeah, that singes the creature, and burns its hard carapace, but it is otherwise still standing and is now immediately aware of you.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Is that everything you can do on your turn?
I believe I've used my movement and my bonus action.
Okay.
However, no. I still have 10 feet left of movement.
Okay.
And does it require an athletics to do the opposite?
No.
Then I will go here.
Okay.
And will not incur an attack of opportunity because of fancy footwork.
Nice.
During your turn, if you make a melee attack against a creature, that creature can't make opportunity attacks against you for the rest of your turn.
Nice. Okay. Then it's the Goma's turn. Now that the vast majority of their number have been taken away, and the actual creatures themselves are a bit more compos mentis, they are going to retaliate the old-fashioned way, which is to say they will try and bite you. So this one's going to skitter down here in order to try and get to you, Renji. And we'll make a bite attack. 11 doesn't hit you.
No.
The one facing Mara will attempt to bite Mara. That is a 20 to hit. She's going to make a Constitution saving throw. She's fine. So she takes, though... There we go. All right. So the Goma lashes out and bites its mandibles into Mara's arm. She pushes away. Gah! And just kind of throws her arm back to throw it off. The other two, let's see what they do. Okay. These two are going to book it. I'm going to leave them there because they are still within range despite being off the map. And that would be their turns. Max.
I'm alive now.
You are alive now.
And that's not what I have. Well, Irish environment's gone. Help Mara by punching all this lightning I've been gathering into this Goma's face. 25 for 18.
It explodes.
That's about it.
Okay. But yeah. So you stomp over and reach forward, and your fist collides with the Goma, and it just violently explodes in a shower of sparks and aberrant debris. Kai.
How far away are the other two?
They have a movement speed of 30. So they started here. Let's see. So they are 20 feet from those spots.
So 20 feet from those spots.
Yeah.
Cool. I bonus action dash because I forgot I could do that.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna try to squish the one on the right. That one misses. I'm gonna try again. 11. I think that one misses.
That one misses, sadly.
Alright, one more time.
Oh, no.
No, I kept missing.
Ah, no worries. That's okay. Zayden.
Leiden will look up at Skull Kid and say, "You're okay. It's safe now. I'll look after you."
Okay.
And I will help Renji by shooting a bow at that one. Actually, that's in 60 feet. Yeah. I will attempt to maul it with ice.
Okay. Constitution saving throw from this thing is not going to do well.
Oh, it
Say
passes.
Passes. So it takes.
Then it's fine.
Takes no damage. Okay. Awesome. I'm guessing is anything else you can do on your turn?
Not really.
Okay.
I guess I'll just look around in in the other directions, make sure there's nothing coming from anywhere.
All right. So on Mara's go, she's going to run over to see if she can try and help this one as well. And is unable to.
Dear.
That's fine. It's okay. She's a librarian. She's not not the greatest of fighters, but that's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah. Renji.
going to try this again. 20 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
We'll apply sneak attack damage onto this for 18
That
total.
finishes the creature off.
Okay.
Okay.
I realized that. Let's see. I will move and dash to, let's see, how far is that? And then an additional 30 feet.
Yeah, you can get within range easily.
30 feet from here.
Yeah.
So that with chasing them, I will be able to sling Eldritch Blasts next turn.
Okay.
I have heard from people in chat that she's a librarian. She's supposed to be able to properly book it. So that's, I think, running and not so much hitting things.
Damn it.
My book it means
Okay.
running.
Yeah. Okay. If that's the case, then it's Goma's turn. Do they continue to flee, or do they turn around and attack the Goron that's right behind them?
Yeah.
They will. So, seeing that they're going to be chased down rather handily, they turn around to try and bite at the Goron before them. So, first one. 24 to hit.
Alright, so that's 14 damage and a Constitution saving throw.
Yes, please.
Okay. Alright, and then...
Okay.
I'm fine.
You're fine.
You're fine.
That one
You're
does hit.
so fine.
Yeah, so it's, that'd be 12 damage total. And then another Constitution saving throw for me, please.
I'm still fine.
You're still fine.
It's almost not fine, but I'm still good.
Yeah. Okay, and that would be the Goma's turn done. Max.
A bunch of people running up north. How far away are they from where I am right now?
Where's the ruler? So range-wise, you would be able to. They're about 30 feet from where you are. If you wanted to try and get them in melee, but
I can't get them in.
yeah.
None of them have been hit so far, right?
No,
Unfortunately,
yeah.
despite my best efforts.
Okay, I'll start hitting them. Get a Witch Bolt for 18 for 6.
Okay. That is.
I'm a little bit closer.
Yeah. Okay, 18 for 6. You managed to tag one of the Goma, and it begins convulsing in pain and agony, but still on its little feet. But yeah. Sweet. So you basically have a free tag on that one now, so you should be able to do more damage next turn if it's still up.
Good.
Kai.
Just reading something real quick. Okay, that's an action. That's good to know. Okay. Alright, well, I see lightning crackling on the one on the right, so I'm gonna attack the one on the left. 19 for 25?
It's down with a squeak.
Alright, one on the right. 18 for 22.
That one finishes it off with a spray of sparks and Ica, leaving the Lost Woods quiet, if a bit messier. Yeah, you're the only thing that is left of the illusion that's still with it would still be just this dull thumping headache that you had and that you have from it, but otherwise it's daylight It's definitely the Lost Woods. It's definitely real, though you're definitely in a spot where you were not in when the illusion started. So you must have moved as a pack somehow while under its influence. But it could be fairly easy to navigate in truth.
Well, you never know with the Lost Woods.
Yeah.
Well, if it's all calm, Sidon will offer Skullkid a hand down from the tree. Not that he probably needs it.
After some time, he de-invisibles and will gladly take your hand as he descends from the tree. He says, what happened?
It would appear that Goma were able to cast an illusion.
Oh,
I'm just gonna use 2 of my dice real quick.
He seems a bit perturbed by it, though he's unsure as to whether or not he truly understands the scope. As far as you're aware, Zayden, from your knowledge of what Goma is, that's definitely new. That's not something that Goma usually are capable of.
Sidon will use telepathy to tell that to the adult members of his party.
Alright,
I don't care if it's usual or not. Every single one of these things dies.
yeah, do we
It
still want to
is
meet the old man,
surprising.
or do we want to go hunting for this damn thing?
We could still go see him first.
It is surprising. It looked like they were ganging up on us, right? That was something coordinated.
Yes.
Oh, most definitely.
It surprises me that even a group that small of these things have that kind of psychic power.
Well,
To have passed that
Probably
over
did need
all
to
of
try and
us.
figure out how they would do that.
Yeah.
well, maybe Dr. Wendell will be able to give us when we get that damn thing's head on a frickin' pike. Too old for this. Alright, let's go.
I was asking what kind of role it would be to find out how they would do what they were doing to us.
Give me a nature check if you would like to that. Would you like to take a guess?
Because it seems magical. Can I make an arcana?
Sure.
I got a 17 of nature.
8.
Oh.
I don't allow good numbers.
22?
Oh. Okay. So approaching this from 2 different angles. In regards to Arcana, it's difficult to say whether or not anything like usually psionic abilities are at least when ones that are practiced and learned as if to cast spells are an effort of a more intellectual mind. Goma, by their very nature, are not generally intelligent, even with the aspect of the hive mind. Sure, they might be able to pick up on various different bits and pieces of memory, but it's not exactly something that they're not like slivers from Magic the Gathering. They don't just add a Goma that has the ability to be psychic and then all of them become psychic. It's a bit it's a bit different than that. They would whatever is driving them needs to have had some level of practice with it. But that would also imply that it would be something. It would be a Goma parasite that is capable of having more complex intelligence. Something that would essentially have to be sapient by all measure. As far as the nature check goes, it's difficult to say. One might have thought that more components to a hive mind network like this would mean that it's just one big brain with more neurons firing at each point that gives them the ability to calculate more and therefore be able to have a greater influence on something. But again, that just doesn't make sense to be able to cast illusions that tap into one's memories. Whatever it is, whatever's causing this would have to have been either a new evolution of the Goma, or the Goma had infected something that is beyond normal scope. It would have to be something that is capable of this power. It's hard to say at this point in time, but both roles kind of point you towards the same direction. As chances are, whatever is causing this, it is more than likely whatever is running the hive mind, whatever is considered the queen of this hive.
Okay. I guess you said this contact of yours, Aiden, might know more?
Let's keep going and keep an eye out.
All right. Right behind you.
Yeah, Zidane will continue leading the way.
Okay.
But with more vigilance to spot any Goma.
Okay. As you wander, give me perception checks, please. For those who are doing their best to keep a vigil.
23.
My 12 is trying.
14.
Okay.
Guys murmuring about old injuries and stuff and freaking psychic bugs.
Considering the experience that you all just went through, it's kind of this. I'd suppose it's kind of like a valley graph sort of thing. So, those of you with the lower rolls, so Kai, with a 3, you find yourself kind of jumping, not like jumping, but kind of starting at like the odd noise every so often. Something that, while would normally be this typical ambience of a wood like this, of a wooded area, suddenly things stand out to you. Something that rustles in the underbrush, or the snapping of a twig as it naturally falls from the tree. The kind of thing where you just, like, every noise kind of starts out to you as your brain is still doing its best to try and reaffirm you that this is reality, this is what's happening right now, you are safe, you are fine, but just being sure. With the 12 and 14, I suppose for your own reasons, you're a bit more focused on the path ahead. There's not necessarily anything that kind of sparks your interest around you. You're just focusing on following Zidane, following Skull Kid, getting to whatever this contact is, and dealing with this problem. Either for the sake of wanting to make sure that whatever danger this thing poses is dealt with appropriately, or just wanting to be done with its existence because it has wronged you quite severely.
Yes, please.
Zidane, you notice with your 23 that most of the most of the life that exists within this within the Lost Woods is sparse, as if it is hiding. And in addition to that, you can notice that the layout of the forest is shifting and moving in such a way that it is trying to steer you on a much more lengthy path than normal. It's as if it's actively trying to fight against your own expertise to steer you away from things. It's concerned for all of you, and it's wanting to make sure that wherever you're going, you're not going to be wandering into another trap like that.
Seeing that, and given what we just had, Sidon will continue to make his way to the central village, but he will let the forest guide him.
Okay. Eventually, after, say, about an hour's worth of walking, the repeating scenery of the Lost Woods begins to ease slightly. And through the trees, a lot of you see an opening kind of glade, in the center of which stands an immense oak tree. This tree itself seems to be just it seems to tower above everything else, being much taller than most buildings are, much thicker as well, and it's just kind of sitting alone in this glade, where this lush vegetation surrounds it, and this with plenty of rare flowers that you may never have seen before, small insects like bees and dragonflies dart around in the air, little wisps of light and pollen just kind of existing in this area, this abundance of life and nature.
Would you say the tree is about as large as a great deco tree?
Well, as you
It's not
as
as
you
large as it.
I mean,
as
it is 20 years less big
It is
than
it.
the
It is
great...
as large. It is it.
So as you kind of enter this glade, Skull Kid, who has, since the encounter, he hasn't asked any more questions. He's been quiet. He's been perturbed. He kind of like grabs onto Zaiden's sleeve and will lead the group around the edge of the glade. And as you circle this tree, you see, not necessarily carved into the side of it, but formed naturally, the visage of a tired, wizened old man. And as you kind of like get closer to its closer to the front of it, there's a low rumbling sound, the sound of creaking and snapping wood as the face upon it begins to move ever so slightly, and from it bellows a deep yet tired voice, which in turn says, Zaiden Shari, thou hast brought outsiders into the Lost Woods.
And we'll step forward and politely bow to the tree. Only because it seemed necessary, the infestation running through here.
Thou dost speak of the curse upon these forests, the plague known only as the Goma.
How long have they been here?
Roughly, the threat has existed within the woods for the previous 50 cycles. However, they had existed in a small and contained fashion. Parasites of such a nature are hard to extinguish when one's power is derived solely from the life upon which it feeds. However, its sudden exponential growth had occurred only recently. Some new element had entered the Lost Woods. The barrier that nature has afforded this land to stand against threats has now been infected with something of far greater scope. In turn, its growth had allowed it to bleed out into the rest of Hyrule.
Do you know where the center of this is?
Thou hast intention of slaying the curse?
If slaying is the solution.
Heed my words, Zaiden Shari. Whatever creature is afflicted with the curse of the Gomer's Eye cannot be reasoned with. No matter how great its intelligence may be, a parasite it still is, and it seeks to exploit life of all kinds, to grow and infect forevermore. It will seek its expansion without cease. I do not know how great a power this specific Gomer has, but I can only offer you caution. If you are certain that you wish to slay such a creature, then all I ask of thee is for your caution in turn. I will do my best to guide the woods, to allow you to venture to its lair. But know that this shall be quite a battle. Dost thou have the courage to see it through?
Okay. And Zaiden will look to his allies.
Renji nods.
Hell yeah.
I select the yes option on the text menu.
Making
Will
sure
look-
not to select the. Could you repeat that?
Zaiden will look to Skull Kid and say, "You're staying here."
Okay.
Just nah.
You're done.
Yeah. You are not wandering into this battle, young child. And it's like, okay. Yes.
For our protection.
Yeah.
Everyone's really his and ours.
Okay.
Protect him from me.
Oh dear. Okay. So, the tree kind of like it can't really nod. But as
It
you
can do so much
It's-
things.
branches just sort of move in that way. You just kind of get it, you know?
Yeah. Taking
The,
note of...
the top of the tree sways down an up and down motion, but there's no wind.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The tree then simply says, "Then so it shall be. If thou dost need rest, then you may seek it in the shade of my branches. If you seek to venture forth, then all you need do is say, and I shall guide the trees to where its lair doth lie."
Well, look the party, see if anyone needs to take a rest.
I'm at 94 out of 113, so I'm
Max
okay.
is motivated.
I'm all good. Just
I'm
wondering if there's any deco nuts here.
I don't even have
Any-
stats for Deku Nuts.
They're flashbangs.
Something to stat later.
Yeah, something to stat later.
What's Renji know about coconuts?
Give me a survival check if you want to
Sure.
go scavenging
I
for
don't
Deku Nuts.
I don't know if Renji would be aware of deco nuts.
Yeah.
It's a tool the Sheikah have used, canonically.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Then 14.
You managed to scavenge among the underbrush 2 Deku Nuts, which I will stat later.
Dude, deco nuts.
Hey,
What a great combo.
Damn it, D4, you betrayed me. Anyway, yeah. So you've recovered some Deku Nuts, and yeah.
Custom item 11.
And I think we're ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so.
Yeah. All right. And so, with that, you can see some of the trees on one side of the glade parting, and you can probably get the indication that you need to walk down that specific path.
Lighted will lead the way.
Yeah.
After one more bow to the tree.
Yeah. The with final set of creaking and snapping of wood, the tree's face returns to its default state and falls silent. And you venture forth into the lost woods, leaving behind you the great Deku tree, and heading towards what may well be a great and terrible encounter. Let's see.
I'm just a bit flummoxed that Zidon knows the great deco tree.
Been around for a while.
I'm more flummoxed about the fact that we just saw the great deco tree.
he's right there.
Now we're
I
leaving,
know.
and you'll
I
never
saw
see
him.
them again.
He's great.
Yeah, it's a big tree.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, how well known is the Great Deku Tree?
Yeah.
I
Not
guarantee Max has never heard of him.
not terribly well known. There are probably some stories around Hyrule in general about there being a great tree-like spirit that exists within the Lost Woods, but there are a lot of stories that happen about the Lost Woods. Most of them engineered to be like, don't go to the fucking Lost Woods. It's a really bad idea.
You will die horribly.
You might run into a tree.
Might turn into a skeleton.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of them.
Your
Yeah.
skeleton might escape.
Yeah.
Which is
There's
how I
also a lot
assume
of
that
those.
But
It's
yeah.
all very complicated.
So you kind of so you wouldn't have known exactly what the Great Deku Tree is, but you may have heard of a Great Tree Spirit, which is like, oh well, confirmed. But yeah.
Check that off my bucket list, okay?
Let's
Now
see.
to
So
get swallowed by Jabu Jabu.
you've met Darunia, you've met the Great Deku Tree, you've met Impa. Well, you know Impa quite a lot.
Some of the giant fairy ladies.
Yeah, there's that. But yeah, you you carry on through this path of the Lost Woods, made for you by the tree, as you venture onwards into the unknown. I may actually, I know this is a super short session, but I may actually have to end this here because there's depending on what happens next, there's quite a very lengthy combat encounter that's coming up, that I need to prepare for, and also see whether or not I've got things in the right order. I apologize for the short session today, but it's, yeah, I need to make sure everything is prepared and
fine,
ready
we
to go.
met the tree.
You met the
Met
tree.
a tree.
You met a tree.
Talk to the tree.
Big, nice tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we get for the
Music.
feeling for people who are shopping for a new patron that this tree could bestow power upon people?
I'd say so.
What?
I'd
Great
take the
Deku
Great
Tree
Deku
as a
trees.
warlock patron would be very fun.
Yeah.
Oh, what kind of...
Archfang. Definitely the
I
Archfang.
don't know.
I mean, it's the Great Deku Tree. It can be whatever it wants.
Be a
Yeah.
great
I
old
would-
one. It's great in the name,
Yes.
right? See?
It's great, and it's old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one might be tricky, as trees tend to be a whole ecosystem.
Yeah. A very large one.
Yeah.
You can't
Which is why that's
fathom
many at the
its
same time.
fullness.
But it has spiders inside. I don't want to deal with that.
Just because
That's it.
it has spiders inside doesn't mean you have to have spiders inside.
That's a relief.
It doesn't have spiders
And
inside
you
yet.
probably also don't have to go in there.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I'm just imagining like 20 years after, like if Renji did that, just 20 years, and then just all of a sudden, oh no, what happened to my powers?
It could be
Yeah, I don't know.
worse. I imagine whatever curse the Gold Skulltulers have on the Gold Skulltular family could be a potential warlock patron, but I don't know what of. A genie,
Ooh.
maybe?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Genie or undead?
Maybe.
The Undying?
Yeah.
I just made a list and puts like some question marks on them and sent it to Artie one day.
Yeah.
What about this? What about this? What about this?
I mean, it all
Pretty
works.
much.
It's all good. But yeah, I will endeavor to make sure that the next session is properly ready to go.
And yeah, are you gonna tell the Great Deku Tree that he can't be a fiend patron?
Seems a bit off book.
Yeah,
Apparently, the gold skull.
Fine, it's fine. Wildfire's a part of forest.
Yeah.
Apparently, the gold skulltulers are cursed by Ganondorf.
As
Oh.
oh, that's possible.
That
I think we're
Comment
just
from chat. One thing is for sure: no matter what you try, you cannot vanquish this tree, as it needs to be alive in 20 years.
Yeah.
yes.
See, this is how we
we
break
kill-
continuity. We
if we
kill
kill
the
it-
great Deku tree.
If we kill it, we will create a time paradox, and someone will yell at us over the codec.
It will just be a new timeline. It's
Yeah.
fine. We have 3 already.
It's all good. But yes, thank you everybody so much for joining us for this short session. I've been ArticulateT. With me, as always, I have Renji Vox being played by another lad.
My nose is stuffed.
Oh. I've had Kai Kuana being played by Avrdal.
Bye-bye.
I've had Zayden Shari being played by Robot Pirate.
Bye-bye.
And I've had Max being played by Keystrith.
Bye.
And we'll see you guys on the next episode. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye.